Will I like going on a cruise? Who is cruising for exactly? If you've got questions about stuff like this is the video for you. Let's get to it. Welcome. I'm Sean Wendt. I'm your host here at the Went There Cruising channel. This video today is for people that are wondering, am I going to like cruising? Is this something that would be good for me and my family? I'm not sure. I'm a little hesitant. I was kind of in that boat for a long time. I was reluctant for a long time. Do I really want to be out on the middle of the ocean? What if something goes wrong? What is there to do? Am I going to like this? And so I was reluctant for a long time. Like, my parents were cruisers. My brother was into cruising. And generally speaking, if my brother likes something, that's a good indication that it's not good. So that maybe give me pause as well. But I thought, enough people say this is really a good thing. I'll give it a try. So 10 years ago, we started on our cruising venture. And I say I absolutely love it now. But it isn't for everybody. So today I want to talk about maybe who is this for? Who would be a good person to go on cruises, and is it right for you? The first group of people I'd say cruising is good for is people that want to see a bunch of different places but only unpack once. So maybe you have desire to see a lot of destinations, but you really don't like the process of traveling, right? Checking into airports and flying and, checking in and out of hotels and transportation all around. It's an uncomfortable experience. As much as I love to travel, I'm not sure I really like the process of traveling. But with cruising, there's less travel involved. So obviously you have to get to your embarkation point. But once you get to the embarkation point and once you get on board, then sky's the limit, right? So you can go on longer itineraries where you can see all kinds of different destinations. I'm really looking forward to, we've got a Mediterranean cruise coming up in a few weeks, a 14-night one. Starts in Athens, ends in Rome. So a bunch of different destinations, including Spain and Sicily and Greece and Montenegro and France and Gibraltar and all these different places. And I only have to unpack one time. Get on board, unpack. Every morning, wake up in a different place, different adventure, different things to see, and then unpack once or repack once and head for the airport, right? So if you want to see a bunch of different places, like the idea of traveling but hate the process of traveling, then cruising can be a great vacation for you. Number two, who else is it good for? It's good for people that like good food. There's lots of great food options available on cruising. Now, I'm not one of the people that's going to tell you that the main dining room is the best food in the world. I've had very good main dining room meals on lots of cruise ships, but let's face it, it's banquet food, right? They're preparing meals for hundreds of people at the same time. So it's decent food and it can be pretty good, but it's not excellent. But most cruise ships have a lot of other options as well. Obviously, you have buffet and quick service options, but many of them have specialty dining restaurants that are absolutely phenomenal. Excellent steakhouses, Italian places, French restaurants. You can get 7-course meals. There's some really amazing dining experiences available on board. So many different options. And yes, granted, for the specialty restaurants, usually there's an upcharge. But, I would say most foodie kind of people are willing to spend a little bit of money for a really good meal. So if you want a really good meal, you can certainly get that on a cruise ship. I think cruises are a great option for people that want good food. The next group of people that cruises are really good for are people that love the ocean. It's incredibly beautiful, right? I almost always will book at a balcony cabin. I like sitting out there on my balcony, feel the wind go by and just stare out at the ocean. I've never once looked out a balcony and said, oh, that's a terrible view. It is always fantastic to be able to sit there and just watch the water go by. It's incredibly beautiful. And so sunsets, sunrises, over the horizon and just the blue water. it's amazing. So if you like the ocean, I mean, you don't even need a balcony cabin. You can certainly go up on deck and see that on ships. But the balcony cabin makes it so much more convenient to do that. But if you like the ocean, you like being out on the water, you certainly can't beat a cruise ship. The next group of people that cruises are good for are people that are budgeters, or maybe people that like all-inclusive resorts. So one thing about cruising is a lot of things are included in the cruise fare. And so if you want to go on a vacation, but how much is it going to cost? When I get there, how much is food going to be? Activities, whatever. You can budget very, very well on a cruise ship, right? So you can know in advance what it all is going to cost. You pay for it all in advance. And so when you get on board, it depends how much extra you want to do, but it is absolutely possible to walk off of the cruise ship with a zero balance. I've got this 14-night one coming up, and I have actually a pretty sizable onboard credit. We get various sources. We wind up with a decent onboard credit on this cruise. I don't even know how I'm going to spend that on board. Our excursions are paid for already. Our specialty dinings are paid for already. Our massage is paid for already. And so we're going to wind up with a pretty sizable onboard package or onboard credit. I'm not sure how we're really going to spend that. I'm debating even telling my wife, because I'm sure she'll find some piece of jewelry or a handbag to add to her collection that I'm sure she's going to need. But realistically, this trip is not going to cost us very much. We've already paid for the airfare and the cruise and all those other things. So there's no hidden expenses involved in this, right? If you like that and you want to plan way in advance for your cruise and pay it off a little bit at a time and ensure that when you go on vacation, it doesn't cost you a whole bunch more, that's good for you. Like, so you go to the Disney parks or something like that. What's food going to cost? God, who knows, right? I mean, snacks and souvenirs and all that. Whereas with cruising, it's more like an all-inclusive resort where all of those things are included in the fare that you pay in advance. So if you want to control those costs a little better, then cruising can be a great option for you. The next group of people that cruising is good for are people that just want to relax. There's tons of activities you can do on a cruise ship, from entertainment in the theater or comedy shows or trivias, or in some cases roller skating or ice skating or rock climbing walls. I mean, there's so many things you can do on board, but you can also do nothing. This is your vacation, right? So you can get a lounger by the pool. You can sit there from morning to night. You can sit out on the balcony, watch the water go by. You can go get a massage, but you can do absolutely nothing, particularly on the port days. So a bunch of people get off the ship in port days, and you've got largely the whole ship to yourself. You can sit around and do as much or as little as you want to. And sometimes you take a vacation just to relax, just to discharge, just to get away from being busy all the time. The hubbub of daily life, you can escape that on a cruise ship. So it's not difficult to find a quiet little spot to just sit there and relax, read a book, have a nice drink with an umbrella in it. Very relaxing, great vacation. Another group of people that cruises are really good for are people that want to sample a bunch of different countries. They're not quite really sure where it is they want to go to. So you can use a cruise as sort of like a sampler platter, right? They go to a bunch of different places, and you can figure out where you may want to go back and spend time at. So I've heard a bunch of people tell me over the years they really like Scotland. I want to go to Scotland. I've heard of enough people that I definitely want to check it out as well, but I'm not sure where I want to go. Well, next year I'm going to do a 12-night British Isles cruise that makes several different stops in Scotland, along with Ireland and England, and so different places. And my intent really is to use that as a sort of a sneak peek, right? A little in-depth look into each of these places to maybe figure out where I want to go back and actually schedule a vacation specifically at that, right? So like we did a Southern Caribbean cruise, went to Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, enjoyed all of them, but it said Aruba, that's a place I want to go back to, right? So you can use a cruise as a sampler to figure out where you specifically may want to go back and take a longer vacation at for a more immersive experience. So cruising can be good for any of those kind of people, but there's definitely some folks that cruising is not good for. And amongst the people that I would say cruising is not good for are people that do not like crowds. If you are really turned off by crowds, then cruising, certainly mainstream cruising, may not be for you. Now, if you're going to look at talking about more river cruising or more smaller ship cruising, then it might still really be a good option. But if you're talking the main cruise lines, the larger ships, particularly the mega ships, crowds may be a deterrent for you. So even on the large ships, though, like I said, you can definitely find places that are quiet. You can go relax and nobody's going to bother you. It'll be great. But there are certainly pain points if you don't like crowds. The embarkation is generally pretty darn crowded. There are lines. The disembarkation is generally fairly crowded. A lot of people getting off at the same time. And you know, pool decks on sea days on a lot of ships, there's a lot of folks out there in those areas, right? So if you really do not like crowds, large numbers of people, then mainstream cruising may not be for you. Maybe try one of the smaller lines or some other type of a vacation. Also, people that really would not be good cruisers are people that are deathly afraid of the ocean. I saw a photo online recently, and it was like a nighttime photo of a cruise ship at sea, taken from what appeared to be like a drone kind of photo, where you have the cruise ship in the light, and then all black all around it. And for some people, that is really intimidating. Personally, I like to go out on the pool deck at night and look off, and it's pitch black as far as you can see in every direction. Maybe you see another ship way off on the horizon, but essentially it's pitch black every direction. For some people, that's terrifying. For me, it's fascinating. I like the quietness of it. I like the stillness of it. But for some people, that's too much darkness. It's too scary. It's too spooky, and that makes them very uneasy. Now, I will say, even during the day, some people don't like the idea of being out on the water. The large cruise ships today, particularly the very big ones, in smooth waters, you may not even realize you're on a ship. They are so large and so smooth that it doesn't even necessarily feel like you're on a ship sometimes. But if you're phobic about the water, yeah, then maybe cruising isn't for you. Another group that maybe cruises would not be good for are people that want really deeply or fully immersive cultural experiences. So like I said before, you can use a cruise to do sort of a sampler platter, but it's a sampler platter. You're in port for 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever, and you can get out and you get a taste of that local area, right? You can maybe even see some culture in that place. But if you want a fully immersive thing, you're probably not going to be able to do that in a few hours. You're probably going to need a longer time and get maybe a little more away from the port to really, immerse yourself in the culture of that local place. So maybe use the cruise as a sampler and then go back to get that more fully immersive experience. But if you don't feel like the sampler is enough for you, you don't feel like that really meets your needs, then maybe cruising would not be the best one for you. Another group of people that may not be great for cruising are people that are heavily prone to motion sickness, right? So I know that I can get seasick. I've been seasick on a whale watching expedition, in a catamaran expedition. I know I can get seasick. I have never once been seasick on a cruise ship. As I said before, they don't really move around that much unless you're in the most extreme of waters or maybe on a smaller ship. It can be rough, but like I said, I definitely have felt cruise ships move before. I've been on some fairly rough seas, but I've never been sick to the point where I felt sick. But some people, absolutely, they're very, very prone to motion sickness, and the slightest little bit of movement, they're queasy. I remember being touring the USS Midway in port in San Diego, and somebody in my group was saying that they were feeling sick on the ship. Now, this is a aircraft carrier at the dock on smooth waters in the harbor of San Diego, and they were saying they could feel it moving and they were feeling queasy. I didn't feel it move even in the slightest, but like that kind of person that has that level of motion sickness or seasickness, then maybe cruising really is not for you. And another group of people that cruising is not good for are people that refuse to wash their hands. You see these stories about these norovirus outbreaks on cruise ships because some people just absolutely refuse to wash their hands. And in a small environment like that, a lot of people, disease can spread. And I know some people, for whatever reason, they just cannot be inconvenienced to wash their hands. If you're a person who does not want to wash your hands, please don't cruise. You're going to get sick. You're going to get the rest of us sick. We don't want that. Please don't come. I think it's a small number of people, but it's enough that it's probably worth mentioning. So cruising can be good for some people. It's not necessarily good for everybody. If you are thinking about it and this answers some of your questions, hopefully that's good. I do have a video for top tips for first-time cruisers. I'll leave a link to that down below. But if you think after this that maybe that is something that you're looking for, I point you to that video for some more specifics that might make it perfect for you. But if you're that person that's just, I'm not sure, hopefully this video helped you today. If it did, please like the video. If you like cruise content, please subscribe. If you know somebody that maybe is thinking about cruising, send them this video so that they can take a look at it. Please subscribe if you like cruise content. We do want to be your source for cruise content. Thank you for watching, and until we see you next time, we wish you smooth sailing. Take care.